So hi everybody, this is Old Hank here, and today we're going to learn how to grill brats on a gas grill. It's a lot easier than you think, and if you're not an expert cook or an expert griller, then that's okay. We are going to get you through this. So my grill is set on the lowest setting, if you notice right here. The key to brats is to cook them low and slow. Now this grill has already preheated for about 10 minutes. So we have about 10 minutes of preheating. And I've put these on here. And if you notice, I have spaced them out. Now over here is an important tool. It's a set of tongs. Sorry for the dust. The grass guys got dust on my grill out here as they were cutting the other day. But you need a set of tongs. You need to space these out. Alright. If your grill grate is not seasoned, then you need to spray it down with a cooking spray. Don't do it while the grill is on fire. Do it before you set the fire on the grill, because cooking spray will flame up and you could burn your face off. Alright, good. Now, my fire is hotter here on the front than it is on the back. Now my fire lines run this way. Now I only have these two flames on, these two grates on right here, because you want to cook these on a very low heat. Now I'm using Swaggerty's beer brats. You can use Johnsonville or any other brand that you do, but I love Swaggerty's because they're a little cheaper than Johnsonville, and to me they're just as good. Now a lot of people say, well, how do you know when it's done? Well, if you look on the back of the package of the Bratwurst, it will tell you an internal temperature of where the brats need to be. For Swaggerty, they recommend 170 degrees. So if you have a good digital meat thermometer, you can buy it at a big box retail store. A lot of grocery stores have them. You can get them off of, I think Amazon may sell them. And you can get those and stick them in there at the end of it and see if they're done. Now me, I like my bratwurst exceptionally crispy on the outside and juicy in the middle. So I like to cook them slow, where they get those grill marks on them and they're good and done. Pork needs to be good and done. So we'll come back here in a minute and we'll flip them over. So these have been cooking on low heat for about 6 minutes now. Let's check on them. Now if you'll notice, I don't know how well you can see it here, but if you'll notice, they're starting to get a little gray down here, which means they're starting to cook through. You see that? So they're starting to cook through very slowly. So that's good. So I want to show you guys something. We've been going for about 10 minutes now, maybe a little more. So you can see this guy right here starting to get a little brown under here. You probably can't hear it, but some of these are starting to squirt just a little bit of grease out, like this guy right here. You can actually see it when I take the light off of it there. That's okay, and that's fine. It's okay to cook these for 10 to 15 minutes on one side. In fact, you want them to get brown and have a little bit of a crunch. Now for demonstration purposes, let me show you this guy right here. See how you got those nice grill marks right there? When it's starting to turn really gray on the top, and if you guys go back to the beginning of the video, you can see how red they were when I put them on here. But once they start kind of getting that gray color on the top, it's getting about time to flip them. Now, depending on how crunchy you want them, leave them on one side for however long you want to get them as crunchy as you want them. And that may be about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer depending on your grill. But that's the main thing. You want to see that nice brown color. And again, at the end, you want to check them with a meat thermometer. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these. And you see this nice pair of tongs I got. You can get these at a big box retail store. And you can get an entire grilling utensil kit at a big box retail store, or go online to your favorite online shopping place. And you see that guy right there? That's about the consistency that I like. And again, at the end of it, make sure you use a meat thermometer if you're new to this and you've never done this before. But you see those nice grill marks? You want to flip these over for about another 10 to 15 minutes or so, depending on how hot your grill gets. Now this guy right here didn't quite get as dark on this side as the other guys did. You see how you got a little bit here that's not quite as dark as this side. Now me, I like that crunch. I really love to snap into these. They're really good. So the key here is patience. Patience and leave them alone. So we're going to leave them alone for about another 10 minutes. Check on them. Let them heat back up. And again, if you're new to this, stick that meat thermometer in there when they're done and make sure the internal temperature go to the middle of the sausage, the dead center of the sausage, and stick the meat thermometer in there and check the temperature to make sure it reaches the recommended cooking temperature of the manufacturer, of what the food manufacturer says it should. Manufacturer? Wow, that's a new term for food, isn't it? But anyway, look, it's not as hard as you think it is. Cook it low and cook it slow. One thing I will caution you on is if you get your heat too high, these sausages will burst and the grease will get down in the grill and it can cause a grease fire. So keep that in mind as you are grilling, that you could have a grease fire. And it's always good. I have a fire extinguisher just right in the door there at the kitchen. So if I had a fire back here, I could put the fire out. And remember safety. You need to keep safety in mind when you are grilling. So this is gas grilling for beginners. If you're a beginner at grilling, I highly recommend getting a gas grill. It does not have to be this brand. It does not have to be a fancy brand. It can be the cheap $60, $70 brand with just 2 burners on it from your local retail outlet. But gas grilling is a great way for beginners to learn how to grill outside. Now me, I got a deal on this. This was a gift from one of my friends. And I use it just about every day during the week. I've been working from home, so I've had some really good meals. But let's see here. Now, even though I just closed this, I want you to hear the sizzle. You can really hear these things start to sizzle. Now, I've been doing this long enough, I don't have to use the meat thermometer anymore. But you, if you're new to this, please do use the meat thermometer. But do be careful when you puncture one of those, because if that grease comes out, it could start a grease fire. So take it off to the side when you check it. So let's say I was going to check this guy right here. You want to take him off to the side away from your fire and know where your fire's at. Mine is right here and is right here. So I'd like to take it off over here, put that little guy right here, and then check the temperature on him if I was going to stick him. That way if the grease pops out and I have a grease fire, my hand isn't down there and my meat thermometer's not down there getting stuck. So just some simple things to remember. Now you can hear these guys sizzling really well. And noticed when I flipped them, I kept the spacing. Again, for your temperature, look on the package. The recommended temperature will be on the package. Just a reminder. Now some people may ask, can I put barbecue sauce on these while they are cooking? Well, that's kind of a mixed question there and has several answers. The general answer is yes. However, you need to make sure that you have a grill-safe brush to brush the barbecue sauce on the brat. And you really don't want to put the barbecue sauce on the brat until the brat has reached its temperature internally, and you don't want to leave the barbecue sauce on the brat very long. I recommend only brushing one side, and that is the top side if you do decide to put barbecue sauce on them, because you want to try to keep barbecue sauce off of your grill grate. It makes a mess, it gets sticky, and it's harder to clean up. So it's a personal preference. Sometimes I do like barbecue sauce on there, but I have to be very careful when I put it on. So just keep that in mind. You can put barbecue sauce on there, but hey, be sure you lightly brush that on there with a grill-safe brush. So guys, we've been going almost around 10 minutes, maybe a little more, a little less on one side here. And these smell amazing. I really wish you could smell these. So I'm going to demonstrate how to put a little barbecue sauce. Now, I recommend on brats using a sweet honey barbecue sauce. But you can use whatever brand you like. I just prefer a sweet honey if I am going to use barbecue sauce. So you really want to be careful. I'm pouring this out here. Pour you a little line like that. Try to keep it off of your grates. Pour another little line like that. A little line like that. Now you are going to have to clean your grill a little bit better than you normally would, because it's going to be a little sticky from that. But also that gets down in there and causes some good flavors. If it does drip down, it's not a big deal. Just clean it off later with a damp rag after the grill is cooled down. But this came with my grilling kit. This is just a little brush. I use it for barbecue sauce, butter, when I'm buttering garlic toast or anything like that. Oh, and it just makes it so good. So you just butter that, butter that? Wow. Turn into Paula Deen here. Put butter on everything. Why not? Butter makes everything better, doesn't it? Butter makes all your problems go away. Except for cardiovascular. Sometimes it makes them worse. But now you really want to watch these. So I put mine on just a little bit before being done. If you notice, these two guys right here aren't quite as tan as these guys. So it's going to take just a little bit longer on these. But again, use your meat thermometer. And if you're doing this for the first time, I highly recommend getting a digital one. So, I don't know if you can see it or not, but after just a couple of minutes of putting the honey barbecue glaze on there, this is caramelized. And it gives it a nice brown coating on the outside. Now, if you're a beginner, I don't suggest doing this until the last couple of minutes before you pull them off after you've temped them. But if you're not a beginner, once you get this down, put you a little bit more sauce on there once it's caramelized. How do you know when it's caramelized? It starts to get that nice golden brown look to it. Put you a little bit more sauce on there. And again, if you do this, you're going to have to take a wet rag and wipe your grill down once it's cooled down. And then brush it on just like we did the last time. And just let it sit. Ooh, look at that right there. Doesn't that look good? My gosh, look at those. Those guys are just sitting there just chilling and grilling. Ah, man. See, you guys can do this. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to go to culinary school to do this. You don't have to call your dad and ask for advice. You can do this right at home. It's so easy. So easy. So easy. Now you may say, well, why didn't you barbecue these two? Well, I like to have a two without sauce there, because I also like a little mustard on a brat. If you haven't had brats and mustard, you're missing out on life. So these two guys, I did not do that to. Look at this right here. Yeah. And like I said, if you're new to this, do it when you've reached your temperature. Now, one thing about this, it takes about 30 minutes or better to grill these. You're looking at 15 minutes on each side, at least, on a low heat. But oh my gosh, is it worth the wait. And you take a cold beverage of your choice and have a cold beverage while you're waiting on this. It's a good way to end your day. So you may have one of these little guys right here that's getting done a little bit more on one side than the other. It's okay. So you see this little guy right here? We're going to flip him around this way. That way we ensure that this side is meeting the temperature. And see this little guy right here, well, he hasn't quite gotten there yet on that side. So we're going to flip him over one more time. Again, you can tempt these. But these with barbecue sauce, they've been doing pretty well. They're on a good spot on the grill. And so we're just going to leave them alone until we're ready to tempt them. Again, you don't have to put the barbecue sauce on until after you tempt them. But, oops, sorry about my finger there, guys. And like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and I know about when they're done. So at the beginning of the video, if you remember, I told you there's certain sections of the grill where you can tell, like on this guy right here, that your fire's a little hotter in certain spots. So what we're going to do, since this guy right here doesn't look quite done yet, we're going to move that guy back. We're going to stick this guy right here, just like that. Look at it. So now we can ensure that this guy gets done all the way through. And again, you can tell by color. Boy, look at these with the barbecue sauce on them. Don't they look great? Now, you want to pick them up and check on the bottom and make sure they're not burning. And that your sauce isn't burning. And that's another reason we like to do this slow. You can put sauce on it. But these guys right here are pretty much at temperature. I'm going to give them a couple of more minutes and then pull them off. And this guy right here that's just a little bit lighter, we're going to leave him on just a little bit longer just to make sure he gets done. So here in a few minutes, we'll put him on a plate and see what we got. One great thing about grilling on your back porch, America. Heck yeah. Okay guys, these are pretty much done. Now, look at that. Now yours may not look exactly like mine. And I might actually just cook mine under just a little, not much. But as long as you're sticking the meat thermometer in there and you're reaching 170 degrees, and I might have snuck a little barbecue sauce on these guys. Shh, don't you tell nobody about that. But as long as you're reaching 170 degrees, or what the recommended cooking temperature is on the package for whatever brats you got. See, look at that guy right there. Got that crisp to it. Look at that guy right there. Got that crisp to it. And you're going to be fine. Oh yeah, so look at those right there. Oh my goodness. Those are going to be awesome. Now, before you cut your grill off, see all that junk right there? Invest in one of these. It's a grill cleaner. See all that gunk on there? Take it and just scrape it like that. Now, I like to leave my heat on and turn it over and brush it. I'll leave the heat on while I'm doing this, so it helps to burn it off, especially when I've used the honey barbecue sauce. Also, one other thing, folks, be aware if you have any relatives that have nut allergies. I have a young nephew that I make sure that he does not, that nothing that's a peanut or a tree nut comes in contact on my grill. He also has a dairy allergy. So I try to be mindful of those things. And it doesn't really make it that much harder to cook. I just have to understand that if I ever put anything like that on the grill, I need to have a special section for it. And then when he's here, cook over here. Because people with nut allergies, dairy allergies, and any kind of allergy like that, food allergy is very serious. So that's it, guys. Once you have reached your temperature internally, you're good to go enjoy it. So they may look like this, or they may be just a little bit different of a color. But anyway, they'll be delicious. So that's it. Follow your recommended cooking temperature. Cook them very slow, about 15 minutes on each side. Save your, if you're new to this, save your sauce for the end when it's already reached its temperature. Watch out for grease fires, because these things can cause one. And that's it, guys. It's so simple. So simple. You'll be pros at this in no time. And I hope you like, you subscribe, and you come back to this channel for more happy cooking with old Hank. I'll see you guys later.